What's up, YouTube? It's Heath, the Miami Realtor, aka the Jiu-Jitsu Realtor fighting for his clients. And today, I just wanted to talk about my journey, my personal story, becoming a realtor, because I've had quite a few milestones so far, and I'm still young, and I'm still, I would not say I've mastered my craft. This is something you continue to learn and grow and master. You're forever a student if you want to be the best. But I've been through a lot as a realtor in this industry in South Florida. And I just wanted to talk about my journey. How did I get to this point today? So, back in COVID, actually before COVID, it was 2018, I believe. Wow. It was 2018. I was working at DHL, and I was talking to a fellow employee, and I was telling them like, hey, like I heard some people talking, and they're thinking about, maybe letting you go and whatnot because of whatever reason. And he was telling me like, hey, like I'm gonna go ahead and be a realtor, so I don't care. Like this is gonna be like, this job is not my passion. This is what I'm gonna go ahead and do. And for whatever reason, that kind of stuck in my head. And I went back to him and I asked him like, what are you gonna do? Like, what real estate? What's that about? How do you do that? And he went ahead and told me like, he went to get his license and everything, and he was in the process of taking the test. So for whatever reason, I don't even know why, but it piqued my interest to go ahead and look more deeply into it. And I wanted to go ahead and pursue it and get the license. But when I think about it, when I think about just myself as a person, I've always been very entrepreneurial. I think I get that from my dad, because my dad has always had a very strong entrepreneurial spirit. So growing up, I always had that strong entrepreneurial spirit, and I never really wanted to work for a company or work for somebody. I was that kid, if you asked him, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? I didn't know. Like, I just knew like I wanted to have my freedom and go ahead and do whatever I wanted to do. Like, I wanted to just be like a business owner or something. I wanted to control my own fate and my own destiny. And my personality is very much like that rebellious spirit, where I want to just go ahead and like do my own thing. So, in hindsight, it does make sense why I went ahead and pursued real estate. So fast forward, I went ahead, I went to Gold Coast, and I took my exam. I passed it, and I had to take the state exam. And this is one thing I regret in terms of my real estate journey, because they give you 2 years to take the state exam. Once you pass the school test, they take you 2 years. And guess how long I took to take the state exam?
2 years
2
later.
years. I took 2 years. Like, I don't know what I was doing. Well, I was working, and I was pursuing, basically growing in DHL, the company, which is a great company, by the way. And I had kind of like one foot in DHL and one foot in real estate. And it was very difficult for me to like move forward in real estate, because I just felt like I always wasn't ready to go ahead and pursue it and take that test. And I'm over here, actually working and making money, So it's difficult. It was difficult, but the time limit was coming up, and I knew, I'm like, okay, I don't want to take this school whole course again. I forget how many hours it was, like 60 hours or something of the course for the school, the pre-licensing course. I didn't want to do that again. So I studied like night and day, night and day, night and day. I was studying, and I ended up going to take the state exam in Doral. Was it in Doral? No, it was a little bit further. But I went up taking the state exam. It was at the State Farm building. I remember it was a computer lab, and it was a long test, and it was kind of disorienting because I remember the first question I didn't know the answer to. It was like Florida Statute 475, Article 2, point 3 states what. And it's like, bruh, I'm done. But I ended up passing that test too. I passed it the first time, and that just goes to show you, like, never, like, time is our biggest asset, and never count yourself out, and never sell yourself short, because I always thought in my mind, oh, I'm not ready yet, I'm not ready yet, I'm not ready yet. And I kept saying that for 2 years. And it took me until the deadline coming up for me to take the test, and I went and I passed it the first time. So, you know, don't wait. Just, if you want to do something, go ahead and just do it. Take that chance, take that risk. Don't wait, because that's 2 years. I've been in the industry. Next March 2024 will be 4 years. I'll be in the industry. But imagine if I did it when I first took the class in 2018. I would have had 6 years. I would have had 2 years more of experience. Who knows the people I would have met, the clients, you know. So it is what it is, but that's part of my journey, and that's a lesson learned that I know not to repeat. So fast forward, I went and interviewed at 2 companies. I went to Coldwell Banker, and I went to Kai's. I like both companies. I liked Coldwell Banker because it was a husband-wife team, and they were the brokers there, and I like their camaraderie and the family unit of it, and it was in a good area. It was in Kendall. And then I interviewed at Kai's, which is in the Falls area, and I kind of leaned more towards Kai's because the people were, I was familiar with the company, and I grew up in Colonial, so I kind of seen it. It used to be an old Kai's building on Colonial, right by the busway, and I would see it growing up, like the old Kai's symbol. Now, you know, they redesigned it and everything, but I would always see it growing up, and it's not like I was really interested in the building when I was growing up. It was just an image in my head that I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I've seen that before. So I don't know. I kind of guess I went going through with it because of just like a natural gut instinct, and I feel like in life you have to follow those things because it's kind of like a spiritual divine insight. Just your gut instinct is usually right, and I'm so glad I ended up going with Kai's because I ended up getting a great mentor. But also, like, I used to have a Honda Civic, and I remember one day, I was having a lot of problems with this car, but I remember one day I was driving on the 826 home from work, and my car, like, the engine was making this weird noise, and then I just heard something like break when I was driving. And man, I made it off the 826 all the way. My car completely broke down right in front of the busway on 136, like right in front of this Kai's office. It broke down, and then two homeless people like pushed me in the parking lot of where this office is. That happened maybe a couple months before I interviewed to come work for this company, but I just saw that as like, that must be a sign. That must be a sign. But oh man, like I've just been through so much, like, to get to this point. But that's just a funny story. But anyway, so I ended up getting a great mentor, and I knew, like, when I started, I think I was like 26, and I knew I wasn't going to make any money. Like, I was realistic with myself. Like I said, I've always been kind of an entrepreneur, so I understand how businesses work, and I understand you have to put up a lot of time and energy up front just to start something, just to have something in place, just to build a foundation for you to be successful in the future. You know, it's like you're putting up all this hard work up front so you can be successful years down the line. So that's what I was expecting. And the first year I didn't make any money. The second year I actually had my first deal, and it was a mobile home. And I was excited because I actually grew up, I live in a mobile home, and I know there's a lot of, I don't know, people who, it has this stigma of like, oh, mobile home, like trailer trash and stuff. But hey, I grew up in a mobile home, so it is what it is. You know, I feel like, you know, these are people who lived in this house for 20 plus years, and they ended up moving to a different state, I think New York or something. But that was like really my first real interaction with a client, and just learning about, you know, people, like learning how to talk to people. That sounds weird, but you know, when we first get in this industry, I think everyone is compelled, because people know real estate agents, they can make a lot of money, and the top ones, they walk away with like big checks and everything. And I guess that kind of, obviously I was motivated by the money of it at first too, but as I go on in this business, I'm more motivated by the relationships I build with my clients. And I don't try to become friends or anything with my client. I'm just really trying to do my job thoroughly and give them a great service. And I want them to come back, and I want them to refer me and everything like that. But I like building those relationships with the people who I meet with, and I learn their stories, and we talk about their family and everything. And to me, that's really what real estate is about, because at the end of the day, the house is just like hardware. It's insured, it can burn down and they'll rebuild it, but it's all the memories that's made in the house, and like people growing up there, graduations, parties, sneaking out the house. You know, it's just so much. It's just life. That, like, real estate is about life. And you know, here I am now, almost 4 years later in the industry, and you know, I've built myself up pretty well. I built my foundation pretty well, but now I wanted to tell my story so people know who I am, because like I said, I'm trying to put myself out there more on like social media, YouTube, etc., so people know who I am. And I keep seeing, you know, Miami is it's a great city, but it's a city that's still in its infancy in terms of the growth factor, because there's so many areas in Miami, in South Florida rather, that are undeveloped and that are growing. And there's so many people who are coming from South America. There's so many people who are moving from up north down here, from New York and San Francisco and California in general, because we have great weather. We have no state income tax, which is great for business owners and entrepreneurs. You get to keep more of your money here. The laws are a little bit more lenient for businesses here. And it's just a great place to live, the carefree lifestyle. I think we're pretty like a physically fit, outdoor type of city. You know, everyone wants to look good. It's hot. We have the beaches and everything. So I want to be in the middle of that. You know, I'm originally from Miami. Both my parents, from Coconut Grove. And I really just feel attached to this city. And real estate to me means more than just a transaction or a deal and getting a check and moving on to the next one. It's more about just building those, like, I think of it as like a web of connections with people. And it's so funny, I meet people who are in the field and people who are not in the field, and they happen to know each other, and they'll know me, or they'll know the school I went to, or whatever. And it's just, I love that, like, because it's like at the end of the day, I'm creating like a big family under Heath, the jiu-jitsu realtor, Heath Miami Realtor, that we all kind of work together, grow together. So yeah, I just wanted to get on camera and talk a little bit about who I am so people know who I am. And if you're interested in buying, selling, renting, just contact me at heathmiamirealtor@gmail.com. Again, I love you guys. See you guys later. I'm being consistent, one video every week. I have some good stuff coming. The holidays coming up. You see, I got the background. Better footage coming out soon because I'm investing into my videos as well. I'll talk about that later. Follow me on IG too, and on LinkedIn. I'll put everything at the end of the video. But I'll see you guys later. Peace.